142 to 130. The Sacramento Kings win another one. They are now 11 and 14 on the season. Franz Wagner looked really good tonight. We'll go over his game and potentially, hypothetically, talk about how he could have looked with the Kings, because I know for a fact that the Kings really wanted Franz, but he went earlier because the Magic understood how good of a player he really was. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be a star in the league. He's going to be a nice starter for a very long time. His size, his versatility, you got to love it. But the Kings won, and De'Aaron Fox, the franchise player of the Kings, put up 33 points on 12 of 18, 2 of 2 from behind the arc. That is efficiency at its best. You gotta love it. How's everybody doing? Please like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Check out all of our new film sessions with my boy Ryan, new member of the CK Basketball Zone family. He's doing a great job. He's killing it. He needs more support though, man. Go out there, like, share, and subscribe to those videos, man, because they are some good productions where you will learn the X's and O's of basketball. You are educating your brain on how this game, on the nuances of the game, how it really works, and why, the process of the game, not just the result, because a lot of people just like to see the result. Did you make the shot? Did you not? It's not about that. It's about the process of how you got that shot, if whether or not you made a shot, and if whether or not that was a good shot or a bad shot. So shout out to Ryan for that. Tyrese, once again, he was part of my 3 takeaways on Instagram. 5 of 6 from behind the arc. I've been saying this every single game. I've been very consistent. 6 to 9 3-pointers a game, right? That's what you want to see from Tyrese. 6 to 9 3-pointers attempted each game. He's doing that. Tonight he missed 1. That is great production there. 18 points, 11 assists. Whew. Every time he's aggressive, the game opens up. And in the post-game show, it's so funny. He loves to poke fun at everything, really. And he pretty much said, De'Aaron Fox and I had such a bad chemistry issue earlier in the year. And he's smiling, right? Because we all know at this point that he's just joking around. We just had to fix it. We came together and worked on our chemistry issue, and things are getting better for us. Obviously, he said that in a very playful way, and if you just read the words, some people may take it out of context and literal, but it's not that. It's far from that. That's why I put an emoji face, or not me, but Corey put an emoji face. I told him to put an emoji face there. And then I also said in the description that someone's gonna still take it out of context and say, "Well, you know, it's a cryptic, you know, type tweet, type Instagram." Like, no, dude, relax. He was joking. I wish someone had posted the actual clip. That way you can put that on the second slide on Instagram, and you can see that he was joking and saying it in a very playful way. Tyrese loves to joke around with the media, because he understands that the media is an extension of the fans. And then he also poked fun at my boy Brendan Nunes from the King's Pulse podcast. Shout out to him. I texted him after. He was like, yeah. He had asked the question about hiding him on defense to Luke Walton a few games ago, or like 3-4 weeks ago. I forget. But he now brings that up every game, if whether or not he played good defense. Which, to be fair, that's pretty fair to ask. Like, they were trying to hide him, and he wasn't playing great defensively. He's gotten better. It's fair to say. It's okay, and I think Tyrese understands that. Like, Tyrese is a very good kid. He's very intelligent, very intellectual. So I just love how he interacts, right? Like, he could have been like a dickhead about it, but he's not. He said he brings it up in a playful, respectful way, to where he's not disrespecting Brendan or anybody in the media. He's not saying it in a DeMarcus type way where he's disrespectful. You know, it's all in a respectful, constructive way. And you got to love that from Tyrese, right? We're all in good spirits, man. We're all in good spirits. Candid Fob says, y'all bold putting up that title in the third. I put up that title in the third, bro. It was a wrap. I didn't see them losing the game. Glad it panned out. Let's go. Love the vid on how Steph creates space with off-ball movement. Appreciate that. I know that Ryan Aquino appreciates that as well. So shout out to him for that great video. Okay. So Tyrese had a really good game. Fox had a great game. He again, 142. I guess one of the big takeaways is that they allowed a lot of points. 130 points is not acceptable. Tyrese talked about that. They scored 36 in the first, 31 in the second, 25 in the third, and 38 in the fourth. Obviously, they outscored them. It's not sustainable to score 142 every night. Tyrese talked about that. Again, he's very realistic about things, which is why I really like the kid, right? With that said, if anyone would ask me, would you trade him for Ben Simmons? Absolutely. I don't get attached to the great human beings, the personalities. I understand this is the business and that talent wins in the league. And Ben Simmons is a top 25 player in the league. So, with that said, I love Tyrese, and he'll get there eventually, hopefully, one day. Right now, the Kings need to end this playoff drought, and they still need to add more talent. And if that's the asking price, that's a price that I'm willing to pay, regardless of what's happened in the last 4, 5, 6 games. It doesn't matter. You are who you are. We know what Ben Simmons brings to the table. And it's all business, man. It's nothing personal. Just like Lonzo Ball keeps getting asked about whether he's upset that the Lakers traded him for Anthony Davis. Like, no. He's like, dude, that's AD. I would have done the same thing. Like, who are we kidding, right? Let's go over another of my takeaways, which was Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes came back super smooth as always. 30 minutes, 5 of 11, 2 of 4 from beyond yard. That's 50%. 5 boards, 3 assists, 16 points. You couldn't script it any better for a guy who is a classy individual. Super smooth game. And you got to love that, right? He's just high IQ, does it all, can get you a bucket whenever. And it was nice to see him back out there. Real nice to see him back out there. He's worked hard to get to this moment. He looked healthy. And that's the most important thing. He looked healthy out there. Rashaan Holmes, tough break today. They're saying that his eye will be just fine. 10 minutes, 2 of 3, 3 rebounds, 4 points. He was having a good game. He was bringing the energy. He had a nice little floater, miss, put back dunk. That was nice. That was real nice. I love seeing that. Man. Rashaan Holmes brings the energy every single night. He cares every single night. Whether his offensive game is on or it doesn't matter. You know what you're going to get from him from an energy perspective. You know it. Same for Davion Mitchell. 24 minutes tonight, 7 of 10 from the field. His shots are falling. 18 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. His shots are falling. The game is slowing down. I was tweeting about this. He's getting better in the passing category, which is a good thing because that's not one of his strengths. The game is slowing down for him. Tyrese talked about that as well in the post-game presser. You know what you're going to get from Davion every night, no matter what, if his shots are falling or not. He's going to bring it defensively. His on-ball defense is elite, and he showcased it once again. And even though Cole Anthony, quick random transition, Cole Anthony had 33 points, he's a huge reason why they allowed 142 points because that kid gets beat a lot off the dribble. He is a bench scorer. Good for him that he's putting up stats on a very bad team, a 5-win team. But yeah, he's better offensively than what I thought he would be. But that doesn't justify taking him in the top 10 in that draft, or just in any draft, really. He's a backup scorer, which is a good commodity to have, no question about it. But for the people who want to argue that he's a starter, tell me he wouldn't start on most teams. Let's just keep it a bucket. He wouldn't start on most teams. That's a fact. He wouldn't start on the Kings. That's a fact. So, yeah, 6 and 9 from beyond the arc. Great box score game. 8 assists, 4 rebounds. Can't knock him for that. But I am going to tell you that they're empty stats because he doesn't make anybody else better around him. I watched him very closely tonight. I was very intrigued to watch him play because for the season, he's having a good year. 20 points a game pretty much, 19.6. Rounded up to 20. 6 boards a game, almost 6 assists a game. You would think like 26 and 6. That's pretty good. But they got 5 wins. And they have a lot of good young talent. To me, the most impressive was Franz Wagner. Franz, again, 19 points, 6 rebounds, 2 of 2 from beyond the arc, 5 of 10 from the field. He gets it defensively. He had great moments against De'Aaron Fox, even though Fox had a great game offensively. He makes guys work to get their buckets. That length, that versatility, my gosh. He would have been such a great fit on this. He's exactly what this team needs, man. He is exactly what they need at that size. They tried. I mean, he was the guy. If he's there at 9, they take him. No questions asked. But the Magic weren't dumb. They took him at 8. It's a great pick for them. It's a great pick. For the season, he's averaging 13.6. So, let's say 14-4 and almost 3 assists a game. What's he shooting for 3-point? On 36.5. And I talked about that earlier. He was about 43. I said, that's a bit high for him. 36, 37, 38 is where I thought he'd be. And that's where he's at now. Great performance. I thought he was really good, man. I thought he was really good. Wendell. If anyone thinks that Bagley's better than Wendell, and I said that in 18 before the draft, like Wendell's a better player. No questions asked, which is why I had him higher than Bagley. But Wendell's a better basketball player. He's nice. Mo Bamba, I'm not really impressed with him. He had a good box score game again, 14 and 8. He's a guy that doesn't move very well. Can hit a 3-point shot for sure. I think that was one of the nice things that during the pre-draft process that a lot of people liked, right? About him. Oh, he's 7, blah, blah, blah. I don't know how tall. He's pretty tall. He's a big man. Well-spoken. Very intelligent. But he's a big dude who can't move well on the perimeter. And when they put him in the pick and roll, he struggles. Now, when he's in the paint, he's a monster. Because, I mean, you can't teach the size he has, the length he has. But he's a backup center. That's what he is. Just like Bagley, he's a backup center. He's a backup center, power forward, center, whatever. He's a backup. So, yeah. Mo Bamba, Wendell, Franz, Gary Harris had an okay game, 16 points and 2 of 6 from beyond the arc. My goodness, Terrence Ross had the dunk of, it's pretty close to dunk of the year. Definitely top 5, definitely top 3. And then watching it in live in person, bro, that was crazy. That was crazy. The Human Torch. The guy just lights it up, man. He is a guy you would love. Any contender would love him off the bench because he's sporadic. He catches fire, and then you're on, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's that good offensively, and he's that streaky. Key word there, streaky. Let's go over the Kings, though. Once again, went over the starter. Well, no, I didn't. I missed Terrence Davis. 30 minutes tonight, 6 of 11, 2 of 5 from beyond the arc, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 16 points. Another solid game. That's 3 games in a row. Let's keep it going. Buddy had a bad game off the bench, 18 minutes, 1 of 10 from beyond the arc, 2 of 13 from the field, 1 board, 1 assist, 5 points. It's okay, man. The Kings won. The Kings won. And to anyone who wants to say, well, he's expendable because come on, man. Like, let's cool the jets on that. It's still great to have Buddy come off your bench. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. TD's doing a good job right now. Let's see if he can keep it up. Can he do 6 games in a row? Can he do 7 games in a row? I wouldn't bet on it, but I hope he does for the betterment of the team. Historically speaking, it won't continue, but I hope it continues because I want the Kings to win games. And Kings fans want the Kings to win games. We all want the Kings to win games. And if TD is playing well, that bodes well for the team. Right? That dunk live must have sounded nice. Holy smokes, WC. That was insane, bro. I don't know if you saw my story, man. I was shocked, bro. I was like, bro, he left me in shock. He left me in shock. It was crazy. Appreciate everybody who picked up the Sacramento Proud hats today. I love the support. I'm very appreciative of it. I thank you guys so much. We still have a few hats left, so if you guys want to put the order in, let me know. I can send you the order link, and we go from there. But the hat is selling out. See that, man? See that bridge right there? It's a beautiful hat. Designed by yours truly, by the way. Give myself a little bit of credit there. Inspired by the great people of Sacramento, people who rep Sacramento Proud wherever they're at. So shout out to everybody who has contributed to it. Again, it's more of a brand awareness thing. Not looking to make much money on it. You know, I haven't even broke even yet. So it is what it is. I'm doing it to put Sac on the map, man. To bring inspiration to others, you know, to be proud of where you are. It has nothing to do with the Kings. It's everything to do with Sacramento. The totality of the great people from Sacramento. And you don't have to live in Sacramento to be from Sacramento, like to be proud to be from Sacramento. That's the whole point. That you know great things are happening in our beautiful city of Sacramento. That's what it is, man. If we can just win the winnable games, I'll be happy. 100%, Richard. 100%, bro. Star HD. Bagley had a bad game. He would have killed him, buddy. It's okay. I mean, the Kings won, though. It's not okay, but they put up 142 points. And he played 18 minutes. Bagley played more minutes tonight. What I don't understand is why is Bagley playing over Metu? Seriously, that was rhetorical. Obviously, I know. I understand why they're showcasing him, but Bagley is limited, man. Watching him live, he's not the athlete Metu is. He's not smooth. He doesn't have a move. He's limited. You put him in the corner, you cut him off easily, he throws it back out. You can't do anything in the half court. Like, if he dribbles it, he's going to get pickpocketed. In space and transition, duh. Like, that's anybody going full speed. Like, if you guys want to refer to that point where Terrence Ross fouled him. But in the half court offense, he's limited. He's not agile like a Metu. He can cross you back, step back, like, he's robotic on so many, he's so robotic to me. You know what he wants to do. Like, he doesn't have much in his bag, is what I'm trying to say. He doesn't. There's nothing smooth about his game. He's a good leaper. He does what he does in the paint, and I've always said that. If you play within the flow of the offense, you'll be just fine. If you go away from yourself, from what your strengths are, which is being inside the paint, then you see what you see out there. Yeah, if he's set, he's going to hit a three. But if you're a movement, like a Jaren Jackson coming off a double pin down, like, no, you're not doing that, bro. He's not that type of player. I keep trying to tell people that, like, he's not that type of player. WC says, hat looks great. Appreciate you. Richard says, still don't know how to feel yet. I want to fast forward to next season already. Bro, enjoy the moment. Enjoy the moment, brother. Let's not fast forward. I want to see how it unfolds. Trust me. What makes you think Ben Simmons wouldn't try and force his way out of sack just like he's doing with Philly as soon as things start going poorly? The fact that being in Philadelphia, as tough as it is, because those fans, that media, they're ruthless. And they just can't acknowledge the great things he's done for that city. He's put Philly back on the map. Philly was the process. Trust the process. Trust tanking. Ben Simmons elevated that organization, along with Joel Embiid, to a different stratosphere. They're relevant because of Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. And they take it for granted. For a team like the Kings, who haven't made the playoffs in 15 years, you will appreciate a guy like that. Like, Kings fans gravitate towards garbage players, towards average, below average players. Like, Kings fans are like, oh, I want to trade for somebody. Oh, no, but I don't want to trade my 9th man, my 8th man, my 7th man for an all-star. And you're like, what? That's just the way it is, though. When you've lost for so long, you get attached to average players. Ben Simmons is not average. Ben Simmons is a top 25 player in the league. He's an all-NBA player at the age of 25 on a 4-year deal. He wants to change. SAC is the perfect place for him in terms of being in California. He's not going to like the tax bracket, but especially for a guy like he's making 30 plus. But it's away from Philly. But yeah, nothing guarantees you that he won't be happy, but it's hard to believe that he would do that back-to-back locations. Like, if he does that, I'd be very shocked. But nothing's impossible. Like, you're right. That has to be in the back of your mind. Just human nature, right? But I wouldn't bet on that. Like, I would bet that wouldn't happen. I would bet that he plays out his contract, which you get 4 years of Ben Simmons, that's a pretty good thing. Metu is nice. He's not mobile. He's a slow-cutting giant. He's playing his role good now. Just hustle and putbacks, occasional threes. Exactly. That's what he's always been. That's what I've said he's always been. He's nothing special. He's playing his role as a backup. That's a good thing. Bagley improving, Buddy declining. Yeah, but when you're here, like super low, like Bagley is, you got to gradually go up, right? That's common sense. Like, I hope you don't get any lower than what you were at. I don't think you can get any worse, bro. Honestly, he was at a pretty low level. What's going on with the West? Too many. How are we only a couple games away from the 6th spot? It's crazy. Weird year for sure. It's one of those years where there are 3 really good teams: the Warriors, the Jazz, and the Suns. That's my pecking order. I think the Jazz are full strength in the playoffs. If they get the Suns, they'll beat them. But either way, it's going to be a great. I'm not saying they're going to destroy that. It's going to 7 for sure. And depending on who gets home court, that's who's going to win. But those 3 teams are very good. And then you have the rest of the guys. Like, the Nuggets are a close 4th if they get healthy. No MPJ, but if they get back Jamal, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with just because they got the MVP of the league. I mean, come on. The Nuggets are there, so slot them at 4, even though the record may not indicate that right now. But they're very good. And then it's just open from there, man. I truly believe that. Like, if you can string some wins with anybody from 5 to 11, it's going to swap all year long, man. The Blazers aren't very good. Clippers aren't very good. Kings aren't very good. Lakers aren't very good. Mavericks aren't very good. These are all teams fighting for for all these spots. It's there for the taking, which is why the Kings got to make a move. It's there for the taking, man. It truly is. Houston is rolling right now. Just last week, we were talking about Eric Gordon. They will trade you Eric Gordon. 7-game win streak means nothing in terms of them getting rid of Wood for the right deal and Eric Gordon for the right deal. Make no mistake about it. They want a top 3 pick. They're winning now, but it's not sustainable. Tristan Wannabe says, glad we won, but defense, man. Yep, you can't allow 130 points to the Magic. Right, I'd be happy with one and done in the playoffs. Me too. It's a positive move in the right direction. That's how you do it, bro. That's how you do it. What's the sixth this year in the West in the playoffs? So right now, this is what the standings are. Conference. You got the Kings are in 10th, 11-14. The Blazers are 11-15. So that's a play-in. So 7, 8, 9, 10. This is the way it goes. It'd be 7 against 8. Whoever loses faces the winner of 9 and 10. So if you finish 9 and 10, you got to win 2 games to make the playoffs. If you finish 7 and 8, you get 2 tries. If you lose the first game, that's the way it rolls. But right now, the Lakers are 6th, 13 and 12. That's what I'm saying. Like when I see Memphis with no John Morant, they'll come back down to earth. They're playing great with the role players. JJ's playing real well. Shout out to Jaren Jackson, but the Clippers aren't very good to me. They're 14 and 12. They'll come back down to earth. Lakers aren't very good to me, but they easily could be a 4 seed because, again, how many games have LeBron, Russ, and AD play together? That's understandable, but it's wide open, man. Dallas ain't very good. You know, they won tonight. Minnie's 11-14. Kings are tied for 9th, man. I mean, they've played like shit, but it is what it is, bro. It's going to be like that all year long, man. It's going to be like that all year long. Trust me on that. Kings have nothing in Stockton. What you mean nothing in Stockton? We should be there already. Forgot about the playing games. That's right, man. And then in the East, we got Philly in 6th. Like, if Philly can make that move, right? So if it's to the Kings, if you get Tyrese, Buddy, and Bagley and 3 firsts or 2 firsts, you're adding talent, man. That'd be very good for them. Washington, 15-11. I don't believe in them. They'll come down back to earth. Miami's very good. Milwaukee's very good. Milwaukee's undefeated with their 3 guys, right? Middleton, Holiday, and Giannis. 16-10. Brooklyn 17-8. Chicago's a surprise. No DeMar DeRozan. They lost to the Cavs. The Cavs are good, bro. The Cavs got the jumbo team. They got 3 7-footers starting. That's surprising, man. Evan Mobley's really good. I love watching Evan Mobley. I was so wrong about him. I had him 6th on my big board. Regret that. It's not like it's disrespectful either, right? But I mean, I should have had him at least top 4, at least. But you know, I'm not that off on that. I still believe in James Bouknight, even though he hasn't had a chance to play. He's playing on a good team. It's open, bro. Like it's open in the East as well. Toronto 11-14. The Knicks are out of they're 11th, 12-13. Boston's playing like garbage, 13-13. Charlotte 14-13, but Charlotte's missed their guys. Who knows if if LaMelo and them boys will be back for the Kings game? I hope not. Either way, it's gonna be a tough game to win because it's a good team. Atlanta's a good team. They're underperforming based off of what the expectations that they had come into the season, making the Eastern Conference Finals, right? Detroit's bad. Orlando's bad. Indiana's surprising. What are they going to do with the trade? With the trade rumors there, right? With not Brogdon, but they said Miles Turner, Domantas Sabonis and Caris LeVert. I said I would read some of the comments from. Why does my headphones look deformed, or do I look deformed? I don't know. Must be the headphones. I should wear the wireless ones, but you can never go wrong with wired stuff. I think my wireless ones. Shout out to JLab, by the way. Great headphones. Really liked them a lot. Use CK15 to get 15% off if you go to jlabaudio.com or just jlab.com, I think. And you use our code CK15. You get 15% off. They last forever. I haven't charged them like in 2 weeks, which is probably why I didn't use them today. Definitely don't wait 2 weeks. But yeah, charge them. It'll take like an hour to charge, and they're good to go, bro. They're super light, good looking headphones. They got the black ones. They're a little bit better. They got the cans. They got the noise cancellation. So shout out to them. Oh, I also wanted to read a quick read from this company that I'll be doing a chat per se, and it's an app, and I'll be answering questions. You guys have to download the app. I'll link the description down below here, and I'll also do it on Instagram. But it's real nice, right? And here's my read. Hey guys, I just came across the Wisdom app in the Apple Play Store, and I really enjoyed it. It gives people expert help when they need it the most. Listen in real time and ask questions to experts in areas from business to fitness to sports. That's right, you can talk to me in real time and ask me whatever you want. It's very similar to Twitter Spaces, but in a more controlled environment. I will leave my link and details in the description below. Just follow the directions and join the conversation in real time with me on the Wisdom app. Hope to see you guys there very soon. I'll give you the details on when you guys can do it. Again, download the Wisdom app in the Apple Play Store. You guys won't regret it. You guys can have a 20-minute conversation with me. And yeah, thanks to Wisdom for sponsoring this episode of the CK Podcast post-game show after a Kings win. You gotta love it, man. Shout out to them. Follow them on Instagram as well and on Twitter to get more information. Thanks to Wisdom once again. Okay, let's get back to what people are saying. Let me write that down real fast. 32 minutes. 32 minutes. 32. Explain the playoffs to us again. 7, 8, 9, and 10 seeds. 9 against 10, 7 against 8. If whoever loses out of 7 and 8 gets to win out of 9 and 10, pretty simple. If you're 9 and 10, you got to win twice against the playoffs. Then you move up to the 8 seed, then you face the number 1 seed. That's how it goes. Bulls for real. They're good. I don't know if they're for real. I don't know what that style entails in the playoffs. I really do love the combination of Caruso and Lonzo Ball on the perimeter. They're very good defenders. But then you have real bad defenders in DeMar DeRozan and Vooch in terms of like on the perimeter. But both are very good scorers. So I like the balance that the Bulls have. I really do. Whether or not they'll be there at the end, I wouldn't bet on it because the Nets and the Bucks are really good still, and the Sixers, if they can make a move, they'll be really good as well. Who's the other team? And Miami. Don't forget about Miami. Miami is really good as well. A healthy Miami team is very good, but they've been banged up though. But that culture's solid though. This is what having superstar teams does to the league. That's why the standings look that way. Just thought about it. This is what having superstar teams does to the league. That's why the standings look. So are you saying? I get what you're saying. Like you're saying like it's bad for basketball when they got Kevin Durant, Clay, Steph and Draymond on the same team. I agree 1,000%. Now there's a balance to the league where we truly don't know who's going to win the championship this year. And that's the best feeling because that's what keeps us watching. If you put that Golden State Warriors team again, like, you know what's going to happen unless someone gets hurt or two guys get hurt. So I love the balance that we've been seeing in the NBA as of late. We scored 142. JTHER I223 says, love your takes. I just don't know about your cold take entirely. Better six man who finishes in games type of role, if anything, and would be a better two guard offensively, but small on. Yeah, so that's my point, bro. It's like he's very good offensively, but he's just awful. He's just a negative on defense. Then again, when you allow 142 points and you score 32 points, but De'Aaron Fox has 33 and Tyrese has, what Tyrese had, like 19 and 11? Bro, you offset those points. So if you go back to it, right? And I'm not a huge believer in plus and minus, but just to give you some context, right? He was a -6 and he had 33 points. That tells you a lot. Did Boogie give you shade one time? Yes, he did. Not once. We were fine for 6 years. That 7th year, which was the last year when he got traded, you can go back. It's all documented. We ran the story back when Matt George used to collaborate. I published a story. I edited the story, but Matt wrote it. Got published on ESPN on the Clubhouse. You know how ESPN has a tab for all teams. It was like the front story for the Kings section. Obviously, Bleacher Report ran it as well, and pretty much talked about how his stats got better when he got technical fouls, like his points, rebounds. Obviously, that's a silly stat because without context, technical fouls leads to ejections and to free points to other teams and to momentum shifts. Sure, his stats got better, but that didn't mean more wins. And he was upset about the headline and just the overall story. I don't think he read the story, because if he would have read the story, he would have known that was a fact, not an opinion. You don't get better when you get technical fouls. You don't get better when you don't get back on defense. When you're arguing with the ref consistently. You don't get better when you lead by example the way you did. Your team doesn't get better. You don't make anybody around you better. As opposed to pulling me aside, pulling Matt, pulling E-Man aside, and talking about it like adults. He elected to go with violence in terms of trying to kick us out of the locker room, being a big baby about it. I tried to fix it. I wanted to talk to him privately. He declined because he lacks a lot of maturity. Talked to his guy, Andrew Rogers. He said we would talk. Never talked. I'm still upset about that. To this day, DeMarcus is still upset about the whole thing. Crazy to think about that a millionaire like that would be upset about that. Just crazy. It just shows you the lack of immaturity from DeMarcus. I have my stories, there's recent stuff that happened as well, because he still has ties to Sacramento, so I know people from his team. So I'm still shocked about that. But again, if he ever wants to talk about it, I am more than open. I'm willing to crush whatever drama, whatever non-drama there is, but obviously, he can take it that way. I have forgiven him for it. I could care less, honestly. But this is the truth. And then when the SACB ran that story, they dragged me into it. They told me, we're going to run it without your quote. With your quote, we have video of you and him confronting each other on the court, and that did happen. That was a crazy story I was recording. He came and he said, what the F are you doing? And I took exception to it. Then we started going back and forth. We were on a jumbotron for like 5 seconds, and they cut it off. And we were going back and forth. Not going to say what was said. But the point is, I wasn't afraid of it. I wasn't afraid of him. And he didn't like that because typically, he liked the worship from media members. I wasn't having it, especially when you're acting so unprofessional. So the SACB ran that video. But it was a big thing between Andy Ferrillo and Aileen Voisin with DeMarcus. But then they kind of added different elements to it. Like I was a catalyst to that. And they put me in the story without my consent because, again, everything was public at that point. He was kicking us out from the locker room. Obviously, I wasn't going to move. Like I'm like, well, I'm not moving if you're not talking. Like, I'm not talking to Leo's here. Oh, okay, then cool. Then don't talk, It was one of those immaturity moments from him, but it is what it is. And I wanted to fake things internally because, again, I'm a Kings fan, and I didn't want things to go public. But then I got slack for it because it made it seem like I threw him under the bus, and even though he deserved it, I wanted to fix things internally, like off the record type stuff. Didn't happen that way because the SAGB wanted to put out a huge story, and they did. And that went viral and ultimately got him traded. But I shouldn't feel sad or upset about that it got ran. Like, that was the best thing that happened to the Kings. But I wasn't trying to go in that direction. I was trying to fix it with him personally. Never happened. And if he ever wants to talk, I am more than willing to talk to him about it. It is what it is, man. Like, that's in the past. I have moved forward. I hope he has too, even though I know he hasn't. It's more of a petty thing at this point. Not that he hasn't moved on, because I can't imagine him caring. But from what I've heard, I think he still does in a weird way. But it is what it is. I think he's a good human being. But I know a lot of stories where he just, again, wasn't the nicest of people. But he had a lot of moments where he was phenomenal in the community, right? One of those things. I don't know if it's you do nice things and you expect good things in return type of thing, or I truly don't know. And that's why I was so confused on so many levels, because I know the things he did, and he did a lot of good things, but then his actions would reflect something differently. On the court, off the court, like, I don't know, man. This is weird. It was a weird situation. That was not the guy you wanted being the cornerstone, the face of your franchise. Trust me. That's not what you wanted, man. But yeah, that's the story in a nutshell. Been a while since we had someone that gets buckets like in crunch time, though. Thanks for being honest. You're right. You were new at the time too. No, I mean I had known DeMarcus for 6 years. Well, actually, no, you're right. Take that back. I did not know DeMarcus for 6 years. That was his 7th season, right? Which is last year. I started covering the team in 2013. So it's 8 years for me. It was like year 4 for me. Something like that. So I wasn't new. DeMarcus invited me to his camp, and previously before that, like it was good, but it got to the point where I was like, dude, like this guy can't be your best player and lead to wins. He's just a cancer to the organization on so many levels. If he's your 3rd best player, I'd get it. And that wasn't his fault either, because the team did an awful job in drafting guys. But at the same time, you had to move forward from him, and they did. And they ultimately indirectly got De'Aaron Fox out of it. Justin Jackson and Harry Giles didn't work out. I hated the pick from the get-go, and Justin Jackson, I was one of the few guys who had Donovan Mitchell at number 10, slotted there. Didn't happen. Then, if you guys have been following the channel, if you go back to the interview with Drake Huey, who was in the front office for the Kings, said that the greatest workout he's ever seen was Donovan Mitchell with the Kings. Didn't draft him. I guess that wasn't good enough. Just crazy to think about that. And the fact that you had a chance at OG, at Kuz, at 15 and at 20, come on, bro. Like, it's just ridiculous to me, man. Like, if you would have drafted, like, a combination of OG and Harry or Kuzma and Harry, like, that made sense. But Justin Jackson, man, come on, man. I love him as a human being, as a person, a man of God. Like, I respect the hell out of him. But on the court, nothing personal. was never a great prospect. He was a champion in North Carolina. But he just didn't have it. And he still doesn't have it, right? Nothing against his character. He's just a great human being. But this is strictly basketball. I didn't like him as a prospect. And I was very vocal about that. Papa G was 26. I'm talking about 2017. 2017, they had a chance. Donovan Mitchell at 10. They traded 10 for 15 and 20. And they elected to go Justin Jackson, Harry Giles. Like, OG was... OG, man, can you imagine OG? Like, OG... Oh, man. It pisses me off. It pisses me off. Do you think any player on the Kings is untouchable with trade talks? No, I don't think so. Cousins' year felt dark. It felt nobody was developing. Isaiah Thomas, but that was it. I was talking about Cole getting buckets. Screw defense. Bam. See, I mean, he gets buckets, but he also gives up a lot of buckets, so it doesn't matter. Bam, 2. Yeah, I mean, they could have had Bam if they would have kept the 10th, but Bam wasn't available at 15 anymore. Bam got taken at 14, if I'm not mistaken. Papa G against 16 class. Again, if you guys are watching this, like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. It really helps out the algorithm. Even if a show gets 100 views, right? There's no reason why there shouldn't be 100 likes, because that's just going to keep pushing it. But when you don't like it, when you don't dislike it, then that just doesn't help. So I appreciate everybody who has liked it already. Thank you guys. But that's the story there. Kind of reflecting on it, going back to it. But let's finish it with, well, I don't have to go back to the comments about Indiana trades, but Karis LeVert is available, right? Supposedly. Sabonis, Miles Turner. I think Turner's been available for a while, but they haven't found the deal that they wanted. I think with more time that has passed, they won't get that deal. They had much better deals a year ago. They didn't pull the trigger. Don't know what happened. But in terms of people saying that Sabonis and Holmes wouldn't work, I'm not too sure about that. I think there's a chance for it to work. And then for someone to say, well, Miles and Holmes would be better, I don't agree with that. But that's just me. If you can get a chance at Sabonis, if you get a chance to get Sabonis, you get Sabonis. You put the talent together and you worry about it later. People who worry about fit is just crazy to me, especially when you've lost for 15 straight years. You worry about fit later, and you see how it goes. If you have a chance to get Sabonis without getting rid of Holmes or Fox, you do it. You do it, bro. Stop. But yeah, angry. 5:30 at. What would the trade be? I have to look at the trade machine, align all the contracts together, and see if the salaries match. But again, if you can get Sabonis without getting rid of Fox, that's a win. Now, I think it was Casey from Kingsland on Facebook who asked me if the Pacers have a better roster on paper. The answer is yes, without question. That just begs the question, though. Are there internal issues going on? Because they hired a guy in Rick Carlisle who's still a top 10 coach. Some say even top 5. I would have to look at all the coaches, all 30 coaches, but regardless, no questions about he's top 10, top 7, top 6. I don't know exactly, but he's a very good coach, right? You hire a guy like that, and then you claim, or the reports from Shams was that they're looking to rebuild. There has to be something real bad happening there, because that roster on paper is very good. I understand that they haven't had TJ Warren, but still no excuse for them not to win more games. You know, with Malcolm there, damn, it's hard to really put your finger on it. Very good rookie, and Chris Duarte. I don't get it. Like, I truly don't. So, who knows, man? Who knows what's going on? But if you can if you can capitalize, like, I get it. They're stuck in the middle, right? Where they'll make the playoffs if everything goes well, but then they won't win a championship. Can you imagine if that was the Kings' issue? Like, oh, well, we're kind of stuck in the middle. Like, bro, we'd love that because it gives you a chance to win regardless. Or do you want to get stuck 15 years in like if they're in purgatory, what are the Kings in? That's a real question. Would you rather be the Pacers with playoff success and lose every year? Because there's only one winner a year anyway. So what are we saying? Or not make the playoffs and have a shit product for 15 plus years? Come on, man. What a great issue to have. I don't get it, man. Spoiled. Indiana has talent and was close to being contender several times with the same squad. Kings are Kings are Hey, all I know is that if I make it to purgatory one day, that's a good thing because that means we're cleansing our souls, man. That's actually a goal. It's very rare when you go straight to heaven. But if you're in purgatory, you have a chance. And that's my point. You have a chance to make it to heaven, or in this case, to win a championship. And that's the goal, man. I'm going to end it on that because that's a great analogy. I'm going to give myself props for that, man. Having fun, man. Thank you guys so much. It's a late night, 11:58. Thank you guys, the people who joined today. I know there's other streamers now. Shout out to them as well. We're all here, man, to have a good time, to win a lot of games, or at least some games, and enjoy Kings wins, right? And that's the goal of all this, to enjoy, to talk about the game that we love so much. Thank you guys so much. And on behalf of the entire CK family, Basketball Zone family, keep it here on this channel. A lot of great content coming. If you guys didn't check out Ty's interview today with Shine, a great basketball trainer in Sacramento, make sure you check that out. Hell of an interview. He worked for the Kings as well. He talked about some of the dysfunction from the top to the bottom. Very interesting there. Quick shout out to the interview. Talk about if he would work with Ben Simmons, what he would do to fix him. Great stuff there as well. Just a good interview, man. And Vince is coming out with an interview with the guy from Ball's Life. So good stuff there. Lots of good context, lots of good content, lots of great conversations in that interview. It's good, bro. Like, keep it here, man. Turn on your notifications. Watch the videos. Like them as soon as you see them. It means a lot, man. It means a lot. Oh, and last thing. Did you see what Solomon said? Yes, that was crazy. It's a guy who averages less than a point, I think. He's a scrub. It is what it is, though, man. You can't go on the scrub talking like that. Tell him to stop it. Thank you, guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.